honestly speaking, Kolea, Fossa, Ken, Fenrir, all these players are exceptionally well. I think this is my first time seeing Azura X here. I can't give too much credit here, but at the same time, we've seen them play during Season 3, right?
Yeah, I've seen
They dominate
Azura.
every single draft, but
Your
when
team
it came
is
to
picking.
the playoffs, everyone just knew what to do with them. Like, because they knew everything, they just wanted to take them out. And as soon as they take them out, they just completely ignored the team themselves here. But this time again, regular season, it's new draft, new strategies here, and it's hard to just focus what they're good and what they're not here. So. I don't know. Maybe Shopee Bosskurr is going to be trying out some strategies again here, because if you think about it here, Notorious Villains are one of those teams
Kaja.
where they tend
Your
to set
team
the
is
meta
picking.
itself.
Yeah, and not only Notorious Villains, you know, back in the earlier seasons where Bosker used to be known as, you know, Air Asia Saiyan, or even before that, Team Saiyan itself, they were really innovative with their sort of craft in terms of their builds as well. And I'm really looking forward to what they have in store for us, because nobody saw that Shadow Mask coming in the first game, but they pulled it off anyways, and
Your
they
team
opt for
is
that
picking.
Kaya, leaving out that Terizla over on the enemy section there. Of course, in the first game, they had Terizla, they lost it, so no 100% win rate on that Terizla, that's for sure. But Bosker possibly will need to expend a lot of effort to possibly take down some of all these guys coming from the side of the Notorious Villains.
And of course, Grok will be prioritized here from the side of Shopee Bosskurr. Same goes for the Kaja as well. But like I said, something is not right, because apparently Xbox is completely being
Your
ignored
team
once again.
is
But I'm not
picking.
surprised here that Notorious Villains is not picking up here. They did mention as well they rushed up their strategy, their teammates here to participate in those qualifiers here. But maybe throughout the course of a couple of weeks here, they might bring it to the meta here. But as soon as I say it, maybe I'm proven wrong here, Contra.
Are they just gonna lock in all the new heroes on the table, because
It's OP. It's OP. It's
yes,
ridiculously strong.
Yes,
Like,
it's really strong. Yeah, I understand.
Even Lilia is strong, but the only two recently
Your team is
released heroes
out.
that is not being picked all the time is Derov and possibly Lila right now.
Well, we at least see Lilia coming into
Yeah.
the table.
But they did
Dirov
well.
was picked once again. Faramis,
No,
nah.
yeah, Faramis as well. Yeah, Faramis. Ever since he got released, nobody picked up in top.
But I feel like there are moments where
Your
Terizla
team
could
is
possibly
banned.
shine, but in competitive matchups, I feel like, you know, you don't exactly aim to die in any of these team
Yeah.
fights.
Your team
And
is
even if
picking.
that happens, you only have that short 10-second time frame for you to go in and avenge your death in a sort of way, turn into a zombie. Maybe it might just help in that 10-second time frame, but I feel like someone needs to actually come up with something genius to actually make Faramis work.
Well, in this case here, the genius one will be the perfect fit right there. Because the new item here is amazing here,
Wow.
and
Your
not to mention
team is
Faramis has
picking.
been pretty okay with that item
This is a
itself here.
stack damage roster that we're talking about here. Like, you got Lunox, you got Xborg, you got Granger, Fossa with that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a
Terizla.
secondary tank, without a doubt. Secondary tank for the
I
enemy.
don't even know how to deal with this draft. Like, I feel like the sort of bans that they're pulling out here is just to open more room.
Yeah.
And of course, Minotaurian banned away, carry, which means that there's just gonna be less options, so forcing them to play that quad.
I think it's okay here. Like
Your
Shopee's
team
Bosskurr's
is
draft can
picking.
actually try and deal with that here. But the only biggest concern will be trying to focus on towards either Xbox or Fenrir here. Like, because both of these things, they have a lot, really long duration of invulnerability as well as mobility here. Whereas Gushen is great, you can burst down one hero, you can burst down a Granger here, but what's next? What's next?
True enough, and especially you got the Akai coming into play.
This is gonna be tough.
It is really hard for you to even maneuver around. I mean, dealing with Fossa, that's already one trouble. Now you got Azura X, another tank. In a way, I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
can they possibly burst them down? You got the Lunox with the Brilliance. You got Ken on that Firaga armor. It's just gonna be tough.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be tough. But
looking
okay,
at the draft,
based on the draft wise, I think Notorious Villains, it's gonna be hard to penetrate there. But Shopee's Bosskurr, they're sticking to their roots here. A couple of comfort picks being picked here. Maybe they'll do better here, because game number one, you can see Shopee Bosskurr is definitely trying the meta, trying the strategies here. But seeing how game number 2, they're going to try and get the comfort picks here, maybe things are going to go different here for game number 2.
Yeah, I guess like Team Bosskurr is looking to tie things up, coming up with some classic drafts that we see on game number 2. Can they beat down the Notorious villains on the red side? It's time we go in for the next game of this series.
You know, something really cool here. Shopee Bosskurr is going to try to prove themselves they are the true villains because they have Penjahat. And Notorious villains are like, I'm Penjahat myself, so it's like, hey, what's
yeah,
up?
it's like the OG Penjahat, whoever we're talking about. I mean, you can have one in Malaysia, and you can also have another one in Singapore. That's fair enough. You claim your own land.
They've got 5, and they've got 5 villains, and Penjahat's got 1 only from Bosskurr. But however, the game is going to be proceeding right now, and Notorious villains, they're going to be cutting the creep wave down bottom here, as they might potentially try and steal off the buff down bottom lane here, away from Shopee Bosskurr here.
It's just going to buy a whole lot of time for them to just raid inside of the jungle. Gripex is doing what Gripex does best, putting a lot of pressure towards the top side, while we see a lot of all these members from Envy just trying to catch up Rush, and Rush immediately getting chunked away. They're just going to tax the second wave coming, while Gripex just putting a lot of pressure towards the South Fossa, just dealing so much.
Gripex here taking a lot of damage here, and that's the power of how Xbox is, right? Like, ooh,
flicker.
Nice block. Nice flicker as well, but yeah.
They just immediately have to flicker right there. There's no option out of that. But here comes the Turisla, trying to slam it, dunk straight towards the side of Solos, and here comes Logan, still trying to do his best to steal some of all these buffs.
Rush. Ooh, very close call there. The last bullet did not connect there. The creep did come in time to save his life there. However, you did see how strong and annoying Xbox is, right? Like, the perfect wall just messes up the Xbox mechanism here. That's why I say, like, Badang with Grok was amazing here, but we don't exactly see support or tank Badangs in a long time here. I think the only time we've seen it was when GeekFam played it during Season 3.
That's right. But here comes the rest of the Notorious villains immediately hunting down for kills. Just having their eyes set for Logan, because Logan has not many places to run. But here comes Solos as well, trying to go in with that setup, but he's a little bit far away. I guess like things just gonna reset. They're still 0-on-0 in 2 minutes and 15 seconds or so.
Seeing how this is going right now here, slower tempo here, but Bosskurr Gaming, they're trying to go for those objectives here, but they need those force up on everyone here, especially on Azora X as well, with that Death Sonata here. Shopee Bosskurr, they are going to be focusing on themselves as well, trying to get those 4 before engaging into this next team fight here. But right now, the Turtle is going to be focused right now as a Notorious Village. They are going to be trying to force this fight right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a Turtle up for the contest. OF Turisla right up front. Ken is just going to be slamming that health down. As we see, most of the members are in flank position. Here comes Gripex, and we are ready for the fight. The Turtle will still be in the hands of the Notorious Village. Fossa going in with the ultimate, will not be able to connect to any of the members of Shopee Bosskurr. While over the top side, there is a split push coming into effect. So Shopee Bosskurr possibly will be able to trade in well.
Yeah, definitely nice trade here coming from Bosskurr Gaming. I'm surprised they actually committed into that fight here from side Shopee Bosskurr and still came up alive there. And,
wow.
Speaking of which here, great double tap here as a 2 kills in the back in Shopee Bosskurr. Great pick off here from the side of them here, but Fender.
Oh, that's some great chunk of damage being put out by the side of Lunox, and Solos is trying to fight back.
He retreat the crab as well here, so Shopee Bosskurr is trying to maintain those economy lead here, despite having this initial turbo kill here, losing their lives as well in the process. 1 on Logan here, but they still come up on top in terms of the overall economy coming from Shopee Bosskurr.
That's right, and then we see Gripex just trying to scout out up ahead. Gripex is just not going to have all too much to do right here, while we see Bosskurr having that slight edge in terms of goal. They're just going to go in to buy some of these masks from the side of Logan. And, well, are we going to see more Shadow Masses in game number 2?
Very early Shadow Mass indeed. Definitely going to be a huge pickup as well. It's been the meta for quite some time here, but top tier games, we do see a lot of this here. However, Shopee Bosskurr now how are they going to be taking this fight here? Because right now they're sticking to comfort picks here, but Notorious Villains, they're not happy about losing the economy right now.
Gripix playing with fire all by himself, forces the wall charge towards the opposite direction. Easy kill down below, but eventually Fossa getting caught out as well. 1-for-1 trade-off between Shopee as well as Notorious Villains. Turret trades as well, so one each. That's going to be fair enough, so we don't see too much of a goal difference, but Shopee still leading the way because they are currently at it for the bottom lane.
Definitely a smart move there coming from Bosskurr there. They're killing off Fossa is great, but at the same time here, the thing about Xbox, right? Pre-6 minutes, pre-7 minutes, if you don't have a kill just for the Blood Festival, I would say the emblem itself here is not going to be very helpful here because you need those kills in order to stack up those spell percentage here. And Bosskurr understands this. They do not want to come in here. They bought enough time, and now into the mid game here, Xbox is kind of lackluster right now.
Calamity in the hands of Solos while we see Fossa getting chunked down. This is going to be some easy Divine Judgment immediately getting negated as Fossa gets burst down by Solos by a drive-by Incandescence. While over mid lane, we see Notorious Villain just locking their eyes, wanting to secure and open up the map. But look at that, the Grok just gets popped up. Immediately can just soak a lot of turret shots, but none of them will be able to fall. Great. But Fossa getting picked off. That's not good news.
Great trade-off here coming from Notorious Villains here, but Fossa a little bit misplaced there, but still, Shopee Bosskurr still losing 2 in the process here. So Notorious Villains, they're trying to equalize the economy here, but Shopee Bosskurr definitely coming up on top right now.
Yeah, we see Solos just being a really painful assassin to deal with. I mean, if you look into all these members of Notorious Villains, they're not exactly all too mobile. If you think about Ken or
for now, Contra. Here comes the Hurricane Dust, cutting down towards the Grok here by Kolya. Is going to be in some trouble. They will back off instead from side Notorious Villains, and that will be all in this small skirmish here. But Kolya is looking for more. Look at the wraparound from Notorious Villains here. They are going to be aiming on towards Pajahat right now.
And we see Envy just marching up the mid lane. There's not enough time for the side of Shopee Bosskurr to defend this one, but that's a great wall being set up. Gripix being brought down low, forced to use the wall charge to run away. Maximum range, and there we go. Incandescence into the fight. Great knockup into the middle as they get locked into the prison, as Ken will be able to smash them out to pieces, and immediately Envy finds the entry point.
Great bait there, using Fossa's death as a bait from the side of the Notorious Villains here. You know the last insanity doesn't really work well if you burst him down quickly enough here, but because of that, they used it as bait, they capitalized on it, they came out on top.
And now they're looking for one more. Gripix just trying to finish off that cannon minion right in front, and Fenrir and Co, they know that they need to back up. They've already got as much as they possibly get. They got the towers, they got the perfect fight that they wanted, and once they came up online, they just want to go on from the reset. There's still a turtle up for grabs, so eventually I guess it might just turn into, you know, the First Lord coming in the way.
But now the Bloodless Axe in the making here from the side of Gripix as well as, from the side of Ken as well as Fossa here. So it's going to be a lot of life steals being in the making here. So curious here, is the Hellbird going to be available? But nope. Notorious Villains, they will steal the turtle for themselves.
That's just great work coming in from the Notorious Villains. Also getting one kill off in the hands of Fenrir. 603.
603 indeed here, but at the same time here, Fenrir finally showing him why he's one of the best Lunox in the tournament itself here. But is it going to be enough here? Because he needs those buffs to rack up those Darkness machine gun bullet shots there. As Shopee Bosskurr, they are a little bit afraid right now because the Terisla did prove to be a huge nuisance as well. 007 up on Ken as well from the side of the Notorious Villains.
Yeah, I guess like from the side of the Notorious Villains, we already talked about how tanky some of all these members are, and it's so hard for even any of them to get focus fired on. Like, if you put all your hands on the basket for Fossa, that's the only guy that you could possibly go for, because after the Firaga armor, there's still that split second where you can still catch him out, but here comes another fight.
And once again, Fossa is going to be the objectives here. They want to catch him up as much as can here. For Shopee Bosskurr, Solos is there. Roshan is there. Is he going to catch Azurex? No, he does not. They are in some trouble. It is a split fight as well. Solos being kiting like crazy here, whereas Fenrir is gonna clean out the rest of the members from behind of Bosskurr himself here. And Kolya, once more, he won blood.
Topside though, topside. We see a little bit of that push of the tower. They're just gonna go for it. Bosskurr might just find a little bit more room, and I don't know, can Notorious villain catch up in towards that sort of tempo? I guess they just really need to find a way, split all these members of Envy. That might just be the solution for Bosskurr to actually win this game in hand. But if they were to stack 5 versus 5, it's just going to be really tough.
And speaking of which here, Shopee Bosskurr right now, they are very close to closing up in this game potentially here, but the Notorious villains are definitely giving a hard time right now. Turtle Bomb finally fading off from the side of Fenrir here, and Shopee Bosskurr, I think they want to take this opportunity here.
Lord is up online, both setting their eyes on the prize, but none of them will be able to commit to this one. Maybe a little bit of a bait and switch will happen in between the way, but they've already have the X-Bar over on the top side, so there's no such thing as possibly going in for that sort of a backdoor movement, but Envy, they are having a little bit of plot.
This is worrisome here. Queen's Wing up on towards the Xbox as well. I don't think Forza is going to be very, very easy pickings here. They forced out here from the wall charge.
I mean, this is huge. They've lost a couple of ultimates right there. Well, when I say a couple, it's actually one, but it's still too early to tell.
That's the thing, Contra, but Notorious villains here, they need to know where Panjahan is, and you can see Panjahan is all the way up at the top here. Bosskurr, they know Panjahan needs a couple more items and those stacks here.
They're just pulling off the Geek Fam strat. They're definitely watching the earlier matches of today, and they're sending X-Borg over the top side, so this will clear up a little bit of room. This would up a couple of options for the side of Shopee Bosskurr. Clock could possibly rejoin in towards the Lord or force them in towards that sort of retreat, but they're just gonna wait it all out, and Lunox is contemplating on hitting back, but Rush might just get caught out, jumps towards the back, and it will be a reset, as I said.
A lot of baits here, a lot of mind plays here, but at the same time, Creepex is all the way at the back lines of the Notorious villains here. He's looking for those wraparound here, but he's given so much information from the side of Shopee Bosskurr, and because of this, Bosskurr, they're not falling into the traps of what Notorious villains is setting up right now.
Looks like
he knows.
They know. Trouble here. Gripex just getting hopped on, and there's just way too much pressure. Hurricane Dance pushes him all the way to the back as Tourism Mass to secure one. Logan goes in with the perfect Divine Judgment. Here comes the prison as well, and Ken getting chased all over the place. Panjahan's gonna hop right back. And immediately focuses towards the side of
the insanity is there. It's gone. He did almost non-existent damage here, but Forza, look at his solos. Got triple kill. He's looking for more. Is it gonna be a maniac?
Maniac. And might just be a savage, but this is a very tanky Kolya that we're talking about. Now, this Lord, it's up for grabs, but Bosskurr says, hey, we got all the time in the world for that.
Oh no, that was a fantastically done here from Gripex, giving those information. He went in, baited Notorious villains, and Logan, with that decision to pull Azura X, what turned things around for that team. But
that was perfect.
And not to mention as well, Forza, very, very preemptive, last insanity, immediately gets bursted out, did almost no damage, burst out, came in, Shopee Bosskurr, hey, you know what, that machine's got no armor, let's take that out, hands down, bye-bye.
Yeah, and I really feel bad for Forza because he's the only member that's getting picked on, and speaking of getting a pickup right here, immediately we see Lunox just popping one up. Fenrir being one of the best mages that we see. Logan's gonna go right in, and same goes to Gripex right across the corner. That's one turn being popped up. Oh no!
But it's
Forza's getting caught out.
Oh no, the last insanity again, but the wall charge is there. Wall charge is gonna be brought up, but Panjahan, the blazing duet, cleans house, so much damage. But Ken, he's trying to soak up all his HP, but it's on cooldown, and the Lord is knocking their way through. Notorious villains, they're down to Azura X.
Doing it. Boskur's doing it. He's going into the base. Forza got enough time, and this might just be the game in the hands of Shopee Bosskurr with the last tap into the base.
Great stuff right there, and wow. Bosskurr counter picks definitely played out for them. It definitely worked out, and look at this, how they were just doing so well here. And